is Complacent Badger,
This is Sierra Kilo.
and we are watching a Blood Bowl game of Nonpareil Elves versus Nordic Kneecappers.
This was definitely one of those scary matches for me. I was previously scared of the Bashy teams, and I seem to have done okay against them. But now that I've got to play another agility team, was a little less certain of my fate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that I've kind of gotten on playing Blood Bowl more and more often, the fighting the Bash team just comes down to pen rolls, and the agility teams are where it's really hard to stop.
Yeah, especially when they play super well, like the Elites have been playing the entire season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like he's has he always been running that second thrower, or is that his only thrower?
That's his only. I think it's a thrower and a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So he did win the coin toss and then chose to kick.
Oof. That's not good.
And then got to move his players one space. Master Chef gives him one reroll.
Yeah, Master Chef's on the pitch. That's good.
And then, yeah, so that's all right. I believe he got himself a Wandering Apothecary as well, and I don't remember if I got struck by lightning or not, but I don't think that I did, so I don't believe he got a Wizard. So,
But to say his team value is not that terribly low compared to yours, so getting all of that would, like Master Chefs and Apothecary and Wizard, would sound a little ridiculous.
Right. So that was my initial screw up. Is I didn't chain my blocks right, so I planned on getting him out in front, like we talked about last week. Was I really wanted to see if I could do some werewolf catch action, and that kind of impeded it immediately, where I didn't get the penetration that I was hoping for. But I have good ball coverage, and I'm playing that zone-ish defense, where I'm trying to make it difficult for him to come in through any other than a lane that I allow. So I'm trying to get him baited in a direction that I can anticipate and have a response for, because he's gonna penetrate. You know, if he wants to get next to my Valkyrie and he wants to, you know, throw those agility rolls and dodges and stuff, I think that he can. So my goal here is to set him up with not an easy path, but I want to have one that makes a lot more sense than any others, and then be able to deal with that route of penetration.
Yeah. I just realized in this player that you opted to get tackle and not block on him.
Yes.
That was probably a while ago, because break tackle was his newest ability.
Yeah. But tackle has been way better.
Yeah.
In the long run. I knew that I was, if against a Bashy team, block is better, but I don't oftentimes have issues with those kind of teams, where being able to knock down an agility player is way easier. Somebody with the blodge.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been developing most of my team, is because just being able to play smarter against agility teams means that I've had more success against Bashy teams as well. So.
And yeah, tackle is huge, and like you were saying, it does open up that extra die for the block die. It opens up that extra spot for putting someone down, just like block would. But they don't have anything that can counter your tackle.
Right, and it is good just for making tackle or dodge routes
Yep.
more difficult as well.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I was the primary focus on. That is, if I can get next to somebody, I'm going to have the opportunity to hit or not hit, and they're not usually going to be wanting to deal with that player.
Yeah.
So they want to dodge away from him, so creating that dodge is significant. Now, and I was thinking about this, and this is gonna be sound a little bit like a silly question, but because the tackle skill means that they can't re-roll a dodge with the dodge skill.
Mm-hmm.
Are they allowed to use a team re-roll to re-roll that then?
Yes, tackle only trumps dodge, does not trump a team reroll.
Okay, that was what I believed was true, and I'd read it, but it was one of those things that I was always curious about. So normally they're not allowed to use a team reroll on a dodge because of the dodge skill, but now they have to use the team reroll instead of the.
The exception being is if they have used dodge on a previous dodge roll and are doing a new dodge roll that fails, then they would open it up. The rule is you get a free reroll or rather, not a free reroll, but you get one reroll per die cast, and you can never reroll a reroll. If you
Right.
Most game, you can make it to where it asks you to do dodge instead of just doing a team reroll, but that would be dumb. So having it default to automatically use dodge the first chance possible. So
right, same like this similar occurrence with Mighty Blow, where it's either going to it's automatically going to re-roll the
or give a plus one
the
to
pen.
plus one to the pen. If it doesn't use it, if it doesn't need it for the pen, it applies to the injury.
Right. So that's one of those where you can choose to turn it on or off in the game, but it's silly because it's no use to pen. It's no use on the injury if you don't already pen.
Exactly.
So he's doing a really good job of kind of surrounding the pack, and that double line right there means that even if I knock somebody out with a blitz, then they're still have the dodge roll to get past that second line.
Yep, and the best part about it is he's still harassing you in the backfield, so that makes it to where most of the time you can't even throw a blitz forward to gain yards because you're having to peel people off your runner.
Right, but he's always moving at least one spot back. He's dodging away from my players. So that's what I'm counting on, and I've waiting for an opportunity to get one-sided, like I did right there. Started to move a receiver out.
Yep, and that's that flush out that we've talked about. It if you're getting a lot of resistance on one side, there's no real reason to stay there.
And most importantly is I don't have a reason to just sit and burn because he's attacking from behind as well. So I don't want to be running a full agility cage or in around me. If I can, it's easier to do it one-sided. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Use it as a shield instead of a fortress wall.
Yep.
So this is still a little bit risky the way that he can disengage players and get around, but my runner has jump up, so I'm confident in an ability to. Plus, if I get knocked down, I've got enough support down in the middle.
If you get knocked down, you'll get up again.
Yeah.
Unless
Never
that
gonna
happens.
keep me down. Yeah, wasn't necessarily planning on that. So that was a little aggravating.
Well, Ball's at a decent bounce.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he just didn't have movement.
He did move quite a bit to get there.
Yeah. Might have risked to go for it just to have another presence on the ball, but we'll see.
All right. And I think that I've gotten into a bad habit of doing this, where I flush out and then don't have enough protection, and I definitely didn't see that guy in the backfield as a threat. And that's definitely a mistake that I've had. But I've been thinking about this. As soon as that happened, I was like, I do this fucking every game. Is I end up getting hit, the ball's on the ground, and then I got to scramble for a freaking touchdown. And I just oftentimes get lucky that I have the body count to do it.
I think you flushed out one turn too early. I was going to say something, but I was like, this guy doesn't have a lot of support. But then, elf teams, as long as there's just a couple guys, if you're out in the open, they're going to get you.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm going to have to focus on if I am fortunate enough to continue with the win. So that was my agility 4 player, I believe.
Probably. Yep.
So
So
that's why I felt good getting in there and dodging out.
right now you're kind of out there, but
Right.
getting the ball down there, and I don't think he has nobody really that's prepared to get the touchdown. So not
And that's why I made that decision, because it's no use being next to somebody. I'm gonna want him to make a move to me, and get the ball a little deeper. So I was expecting to get hit,
yep.
but getting the ball deeper is better.
Ooh, bad throw in.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate.
At least it landed between your dudes if it's gonna go all the way on your side of the pitch.
Yeah, and we haven't seen one of those lately. It always just seems to move laterally on
Yeah.
that same side.
Last season, man, throw-ins were destructive. Like could
Right.
completely end a drive.
Yep, and I've definitely used it this season too to knock somebody out and get it. That was super unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that just worked out in your favor that it bounced right into your hands.
Right.
You gonna do it? No.
I've got too many turns left.
Yeah.
I really wanted to. I really wanted to.
You're like, I can still hurt him.
Yeah, and I did a fairly good job of. I had a couple options where it was a free touchdown or go to hit somebody, and I really made the conscious decision to get those touchdowns,
Yep.
especially with I really want this character to get it because he's not one of my normal touchdown scorers.
Yeah.
And 3 points means a level. So if all goes well, he's going to be the guy that I want to get into the touchdown. But it's going to take him 2 turns if it does.
Man, that Keldon Nordic son still just always there and never seems to go down.
He doesn't have any teeth left, but other than that, he's all right. So he's playing into his elfish hands, where he's got folks in the backfield ready to take advantage of a situation if it goes poorly. And he's doing a really good job of playing the proper amount of hits and a proper amount of getting the hell out.
Yep, and he's throwing hits at you.
But he knows that he needs to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's the thing that makes the difference. Is he's got a fairly good understanding of what's necessary and what's not necessary, when it's better to get out of the way. That tackle helped right there, obviously.
Yeah, that was scary. That double attacker down.
Yeah, not a real big fan of that happening, but
So this character's gonna be pretty much alone.
Yep.
Especially with that. But going for it's going to kind of mitigate the danger there, especially on a strength 4.
right.
So the way to get in is going to be from the front now. And he can do it. He just won't be able to blitz your ball carrier this turn.
Yep. Turn 7 getting scary. Yep. Brett didn't really he you know, he's got to rest up. He already caused an injury, so
Yep, that's it for this drive.
at least he's standing, you know.
Yep.
It's better than what he does most of the time.
Ooh. Not the way I would have gone with that.
Yep. And that was, you know, like I said, had that free touchdown, take that opportunity, especially with that character, because I
Yep.
wanted him to score. So don't, especially on turn 7, it's not, or turn 8 is not the time to fuck around with blocks. You know what I mean?
Not, yeah, that was weird. That's very unlike Ben to just go for a going for it, or dodge going for it, one die kind of situation.
Yeah. I think that his thought process was, that's a for sure touchdown, and this is the only hope to get rid of it.
I don't think it was with one turn left. Had he put down the player, had he lined up in front to put the player down that was in front of that character and then tied you up. I think with his movement allowance and a couple go for it's and whatnot, I think he could have made it. I think he could have at least given you a run for your money.
Right. Instead of giving me a free touchdown, like there was a way to make me earn it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think a one die was the way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially since I think it was a lineman that was going after you. Maybe it was a lineman with block.
So we got his 1-star player point for the half.
Excellent. So that's pretty good, holding the Elves to nothing. Granted, they haven't touched the ball yet, but...
Yeah, which is, something that I mentioned to him afterwards for sure, and I think that he agreed that his new tactic is to never, ever, ever give me the ball if he has an option not to.
Yeah, you should never, ever allow your opponent to receive first, if you can help it.
And he was saying that he's had some luck with that with agility teams, I guess, but... I don't know.
I can't see, maybe he's saying that he was able to recover the ball, like he was able to do something to recover the ball and then score, and then at the half he was getting the ball right back.
Possibly.
But that's such a gambit because you're going to lose players.
Yeah, and that's and I haven't said it in a while, so I'll say it again. But really, my first half is. Especially if I have the ball, is to slow controlled movement and Jesus, right?
Fairly even.
Yeah. 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's not disastrous.
Right, but in that he gets the ball, so he's one turn closer to being able to. His guys stand up first, obviously, so that's.
Plus, he was already 2 players down, so he's ostensibly an additional player down for at least a turn.
Yeah, but my goal is to knock out as many players as I can in the first half, and just kind of waltz down the field the second half and get a touchdown or 2 if I can. So, that's the time that Brett moves. No big deal. Thanks. Because he's outside of a blitz for anybody. But so my thoughts were try to get in the way of a reception. I'm weaker on the left side than I am on the right, so try not to give him any ball movement that I don't have to. If he's going to try to make a handoff or a pass or something.
Well, and that aura is huge, so that's going to be tough for him to avoid and still get a decent pass.
Right, and that was my thought process. That was my hopes and my dreams for that. Right. But still cover, and cover.
That guy doesn't look like he's going to catch much. But that's his only chance.
Right.
At least this second. I mean,
exactly, yep. And I'll deal with the rest of his shenanigans when he stands his guys up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all you can do right now is you got 2 choices: either pocket and hope for something better, or try to go for the pass. Because if you can actually make that crazy catch, that guy's out and a touchdown.
Right.
Because he's agility 5, he can make that dodge all day. So I think with being behind, having so many rerolls, and you having so few rerolls, I think I might go for it. Yeah, pick up everybody. We'll see. It looks like he's not. Maybe he is making a pocket. Yep, he is. Alright, so he doesn't want to take... Oh, nope. Wow. So he did exactly that. He made a pocket in case something, I guess.
That was right?
Yeah. That worked. Perfect. Yeah, I expected. That pass was a good one. Catch was a -3, but a +1, so a -2. So instead of a 2+, he was going for a 4+. And he rolled a 4. So.
Yep. So that was immediate disappointment on my side, a little bit of frustration, but not really. That's what you expect. I did exactly what I could do.
Yeah.
I don't think that I could have set myself up in a more advantageous way to deal with that situation.
No,
And
not really. Not with what was available. It came down. You did everything. It came down to dice, and sometimes that just happens.
right, and you go, that's okay,
It's in Nuffle's hands now.
right? But now I get the ball back and I get another touchdown, or
Or the
or
attempt
that's
at
what I
it.
say to myself. Yeah, right. That's the story I tell myself.
Well, you're in a decent position because the kickoff event and over that, he was forced to score extremely fast.
Right,
Whether or not I mean, he probably would have anyways because he was already behind. But this gives you a chance to grab the ball and get that last touchdown right before the end of the game.
right. That is a good kick there, huh?
Yeah, that was an amazing kick. I always play two guys in the back and pull them deep so I can avoid shenanigans like that. Hey, Brett hurt a guy.
Thanks, Brett.
So what's next on Brett's plate? So he's got 2 injuries away. What are you getting him?
I I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Is that I keep I like him so much how he is that I'm kind of scared to do anything with him.
I would say either guard or break tackle. I don't think he has the movement allowance to make a break tackle that super useful, so guard might be the way.
Yeah, and he's always in there, and that definitely helps. I'd like to get the break tackle because I've put it on both of my werewolves and I like it. But you're 100% correct where he doesn't necessarily have the movement allowance to need it, but well, that would be really scary if he could just do whatever he wanted wherever he wanted.
Yeah, it would be and especially since he has Juggernaut, you could make it a really weird player if you gave him break tackle and then he just happened to roll doubles and you gave him pass block.
Yeah,
Because that would be really weird because the disturbing presence and his ability to basically go where he needs to go to make that disturbing presence happen. Not that that's the best way to build a Yeti, but it would be an interesting Yeti.
right. And between me and you anymore, I think interesting is more fun than standard
Mm-hmm.
because when you build a team, it's sometimes it's okay to make mistakes because they're interesting and they're fun to have there. Like my leap character,
Yep.
definitely a mistake, but I thought about it, and now then you look for an opportunity to use it, and you go, well, this isn't going to work for me, but hey, there's always that opportunity, that one time when it can play.
And you never know if that leaf guy gets +1 agility, then you got something there.
Yeah,
Ooh, another boo boo.
there were a couple.
Is your lead player even here?
No, because he's my no, yeah, ball carrier.
Oh, does he have leap? Oh, he has. Okay, so it's Geared Nordic Sun that has leap and
Yeah.
jump up.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good option, but then you just couldn't figure out a way to make it happen.
I mean, it's just an agility roll, so it's a 4+. It's a coin flip. If you can get a +1 in
Right.
agility, then Geared Nordic Sun just went into overdrive with leap and all that.
Yeah, that kind of turns it into that OP-ness.
Oh, penis. That's so unlike him to go for these 1 dies.
It really is. I think that he doesn't know how to play me super well.
Like
But if
maybe
I
you just.
win this game, then he's gonna have to play me again immediately.
Oof. Well, you haven't done any miss next games yet, have you? We're not gonna watch the game anymore. Um, no, it's all badly hurt.
Right.
Something failed. It was a dodge. It was bad. I think it was that. Oh, it was that guy. All right, so he didn't miss anything. He did do a good job of marking your ball carrier.
Yeah, he did.
That's pretty good setup right now. Uh, you you did, but that's the one without tackle, unfortunately.
Right.
But your guy's open now, so +1 agility, he can make it happen. Wacky game, man. Not a lot of cages on your part.
Yeah.
You kind of just been running around with a ball in your hand.
It's because I no longer respect elves.
I don't know. Movement allowance 8. Fuck you. Just stiff arm and run. They're about to tackle you, and a werewolf just takes off their head.
No. Bad.
Brett's just smashing two elves together for an hour.
Yeah. That was one of those things that I think it'd be fun if you had a big guy and got what is it, double tackle?
Oh, multiple block.
Multiple block, that's
Close
what it is.
though.
I knew.
Synonymous.
Hey,
Oh.
I did right.
I guess we're gonna keep the smashed ankle.
Smashed ankle versus dead. So, yeah.
Goodness.
And that should take him out for next game.
Yeah.
That'll be the one guy.
Movement 7 catcher with Doge.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, if he had to get an injury, I'm glad that I didn't necessarily cause it. You know what I mean?
Also true. And really, of all the I think at least of all the characteristic injuries, movement allowance is probably the easiest one to get around.
True. Especially because the going for it's so easy. You know, you can if you just throw a one going for it, because not too many people are going to go two going for it's when you have if you have the option. You know, you get that you can only pucker so much.
Mm-hmm.
So you just I got that one. I'm okay. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the armor value doesn't decrease your player's ability, but it's a downward spiral. Yeah. If you get an armor value loss, then it's just a matter of time before you get your next one.
That's you say that, but I've got a guy who doesn't respect that kind of thinking either.
He does not. He punches people.
That's right. He was scared once, but only once, and it was because he thought that they'd ran out of mead. But it was okay, they didn't.
What is out of mead? Oh, ow. I'm alright. Alright. So, let's see. Might just be reserving it to a loss? We'll see. Oh. He doesn't respect you.
Now, remember when I said that I was creating lanes?
Yeah.
Look at who's there.
Yeah, Senor Tackle.
So that's the side that he had tackle on. Now, he did a good job, and I didn't really expect him to go for the going forts or to get that support. So he did a really good job to mitigate my plan. But
movement allowance 6, you're definitely in there like swimwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even worth moving some of these. Well, I guess it's just to get them there in case something good happens. Oh yeah, I like that. I always like seeing that, man. That looks like someone is going, you know what? Something good could happen.
Broken neck.
Oh. But no worries. Wandering apothecary.
That was clutch.
Yeah, that was the old bait and switch. I don't know if I would have seen that either. So. No shame, Ben. That was he tricksy.
And it was just luck that it worked out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd have looked pretty silly for leaving that gap there. But
yeah.
I was really hoping to get that ball carrier and then having a reroll and 2 chances to get that ball out of his hands.
Yeah. With the correct player, you definitely set up a really good situation for that.
Because like we saw earlier, he's going to score essentially at will, but what can I do to mitigate that?
You make him think that he's going to score at will and then send a rampaging werewolf into his ass.
Yep.
He's like, hey, I'm going to score this one. They were even cheering for him.
Yeah. And getting, to be honest with you, the best thing, I see, that was...
At that point, you need to get the touchdown, so I'm not against that.
Yeah.
With agility 5 guy with dodge, oh yeah, that was the play. He's got nobody else in the fucking pitch. That was the only play to make.
Yeah, I'm with that. He was pondering whether or not that was a good move. It was absolutely a good move.
Yeah, that was the only move. You could have done something else, but it would have just given you the deeper loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least you tried.
And Yep, and that was a huge swing for me. So I had to get two going forwards, one on each player, to do it. But
You're the agility 3 though, so you're fine.
yeah, no big deal. Didn't even have
So
to use a reroll.
yeah, I mean, unless something ridiculous happens, like kickoff event or something, that's basically it. I thought Ben played great.
Yeah, 100%.
I just think that maybe, and maybe I'm just not seeing it the same way because I think Ben's getting to the same level that Master Moose is at, where like I don't see what he's thinking, so I just consider it a bad move.
Right.
Um,
But when the two or three moves down the line,
exactly, but I think maybe those two one dies were not the best. The second one, you definitely did a really good job of making it become a good idea. Whether or not that was, I assume, because it's you, that you planned to put those guys there, and that was a really good situation.
yeah.
But the first one die, I don't know. I don't, maybe there was more to it than just that, but two ones on a go for it doesn't help.
Yeah, and that really what it comes down to is I would have been able to pick up the ball and move it in anyways, so it would have been better to let me end the churn than and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Puppy dog face, not my son, got MVP. That's a huge MVP.
Yeah, it is. He's a
Um,
big guy.
yep. And then obviously you played extraordinarily well. You actually, that's the first bait and switch that I've seen in Blood Bowl, I think.
Thanks.
But overall, I mean, match rating says it all. Both players played impressive Blood Bowl. Uh, because I want to say that the score doesn't show how close it was, but I think with injuries the way they were, how they kind of fell, that it wasn't a close game on the pitch, but I think in like in coaches' capability, it was a close game, just not what was going down on the pitch.
I absolutely agree that's, but that is one of my strategies is to get the player advantage early, and it showed how well that works.
Mm-hmm.
But the reverse of that going, he doesn't have to have it. He had what, three players and got a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's the capabilities of the Elves, but
So, yeah, and I think that one of the things that really helped me was that initial decision to kick off gave me that much more time with the ball.
yeah,
And when I have time with the ball, it means that you have to engage me. And when you engage me, I win those.
yeah.
And I think that's what changed the tide. So after, if you disregard that, everything since then was a phenomenal play.
Yeah, and it was an uphill battle. Team value difference kind of showed a little bit with the player skills. So
Yep.
overall, an excellent game. I would not feel bad about that game at all, Elites, and keep doing what you're doing. That was great.
That was a lot of fun.
All right, see you next time.
Later.